All right. We are officially live on YouTube for the Tuesday edition of the Not Your Average Investor Show. I'm your host, Pablo Gonzalez. With me today, back in the seat, back on the saddle, is the man that I affectionately like to call GC because of his genius concepts, because he knows how to generate cash flows, because he's a great co-host, and because his name is Gregg Cohen. Say hello, Gregg.
Hello, everyone. Fantastic to be with you today.
And the beating heart of our community. We call her MTM because she brings us the moments that matter, because her name is Madison the Magnificent. Say hello, Madison.
Hello, everybody.
Good to be back. The full family is in the house. Good to have our friends and our community in the chat already engaging. If you are watching live on YouTube, go to jwbshow.com, jump right in. If you are watching later on a podcast or on YouTube, go to nyais.com, registers for the shows, because this thing is a live experience. We are a vibrant community full of friends. And to prove that, we have a little tradition. GC, do you remember this tradition?
Oh, I remember this tradition. It's the roll call, baby.
It's the roll call, baby. We got Madison welcoming everybody. We got our leadoff hitter, John Henning, wishing everybody a good afternoon. We got Nadeem Shah from the West Coast with his trademark good morning, good afternoon, JWB family. Hope all is well. We got Shannon Baker in the house checking in, saying hello. Shannon, is that a new name?
Is that new name?
The new name.
New name.
Shannon, happy to have you here. Right ahead of the ringmaster of the Not Your Average Investor Show community, Drew Barnhill, coming to you from beautiful Lakeland, Florida this afternoon. Drew's always getting around, man. That guy. We got Leo Faraganan.
Dun, 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 dun.
Faraganan.
Dun, 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 dun.
Leo Faraganan, all the way. Good morning from the Bay Area, California. Let's rock. We got Tara Klein in the house saying good afternoon, all. That's the mother of the data flywheel, right?
That is the mother of the data flywheel.
She is the keeper of the data flywheel. Good to have you, Tara. Who else we got? We got Stevie B in the house checking in. Good to have you, Stevie. We got Denny Davis saying Guten Thanksgiving. Denny D over there, service member in Germany. Good to have you, Denny, as always. Who else we got? Oh, look at that. We got the first family of the Not Your Average Investor Show is in Tulsa today. Ken and Carolyn Malin.
We salute you.
We salute you. We got our regular Rosalind Riley in the house. Good morning, everybody from Marietta. We got who'd you see? Aaron O'Neill.
Into the light.
Into the light. Steps in, Aaron. Aaron, it's good to have you back. We got Gerard Wendling back in the house saying hello, everybody. We got Marilyn Cotterman. She's from Homosassa, Florida, GC.
Fun fact, that's the home of the manatees.
Home of the manatees. That's where you swim with the manatees. Love it. We got Kelly Barenbaum. She's back. Kelly, good to have you again. Saying, hey, everyone. Who else we got here? Scrolling through. We got Christopher Lee from Fernandina Beach is back. We got a full Fernandina representation out here. Beautiful place. We got Raj Bantu in the house, my ride-along partner during the IRL meetup. Good to have you. We got Jamie Matthews saying hello, everybody. Is that first time, Jamie?
Jamie's a client, I'm pretty sure, but maybe new to the show. So we're super happy to have you, Jamie.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Well, we got Leslie Wilson checking in from Denver. She was in the house to see that beautiful dancing performance by you.
Absolutely.
Gary Riley, wishing everybody a good morning from Marietta, California. Also, we're starting to get a little Marietta contingency out there. Him and Rosalind, maybe Rosalind Riley, Gary Riley. I just put it together.
There you go. And Jamie is our new lending teammate. All right. So here's the thing. Jamie's nickname in the office is Jammer. So there you go. I know her as Jammer. She is Jamie. I guess, I screwed that one up. So I apologize. Jamie Jammer. You're known as Jammer here from now on.
Oh, it's just jamming us up over here on the show. We got Bill Green from the beautiful mountains of Colorado. Welcome back, Bill Green. We got a not your average guest. So we send out these text messages with a link to join. If you join through the text message link, you show up as not your average guest. So I don't know exactly who you are, but you can change your name if you look at yourself in the attendee list. So we know who we're talking about. Well, we got a not your average guest saying hello, everybody. We got David Blattner from Chile, Massachusetts. David's back. We got Cassandra Conister, KJ, the infamous KJ. She's in the room. We got a lot of teammates today, GC. Yeah. I think they missed you, man. They want your return.
I doubt that.
They loving it. They're loving it. All right. And then we got Lee. Oh, look, somebody learned to change their name. Lee MVP Bishop.
Oh, look at it. Such an MVP move, by the way.
Such an MVP move. Lee Bishop, the MVP of our community, is in the house. Welcome, everybody. Like we say, this is a audience community show. So make sure that you are joining in on this discussion that we're about to have here. I'm going to, you know what, GC, since we are in two different places, I'm going to spotlight you and me and start messing around with that, right? So that they can see both of us at the same time. Yes, Lee, I'm in Miami. This is my dad's home office. I don't have optimal lighting, but we do what we can out here in the Not Your Average Investor Show. All right, first topic, GC. This one is near and dear to my heart. We just went through a contentious midterm elections. Feels like the political climate these days in the U.S. is just getting crazier and crazier, right? And rightfully so. As investors, we think to ourselves, what does that mean for my investments? Well, I just read an article on the Wall Street Journal, and it talked about this idea that the results ended up being a divided executive branch and legislative branch, right? When you have a Democrat in power at the executive branch and a Republican-held Congress, that is what we call a split, a split power governance. I'm totally butchering this thing. Mm-hmm. And what the Wall Street Journal said is that is generally positive for the stock market, because what it means is that when the executive and the legislative branch are not on the same page, it means not a lot of big changes are coming and people are able to kind of like plan ahead, at least in the medium term. Yes, Drew Barnow's putting it. Gridlock is good for the economy. It's business as usual in major things. And I bring this up because, GC, as you know, the first time that I invested with JWB, I was a private money lender, and I went through the cycle, had a great experience, and it was the 2014 midterm elections had just happened. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to re-up, right? Like I'm not going to keep my money in real estate because I'm worried about what's happening with the elections and the political climate. So I took my money out. And I think that this is why we need to talk about elections and real estate. GC, so what is there to know about the real estate market and these midterm elections and what's going on?
Well, it's funny, when Pablo and I come up with the ideas for the show, it's kind of equal parts working together to come up with these topics. And so when Pablo said, hey, I think we need to really talk about elections and real estate, I'm like, really? Like we need to talk about that? He's like, yeah, no, this really affected me. This was the reason that I pulled out my money from JWB back in the day. Everything else was great, but I just didn't understand the relationship. And I'm like, really? Like people think there's a relationship between the Democrats and the Republicans and like how that's going to affect private lending. I'm like, or how that's going to affect owning turnkey rental properties, so for me, one of the things I love about investing in rental properties and private lending is that I don't have to play the politics game, right? I don't have to understand political agendas or how this is going to transpire throughout the economy, right? Like that is so low on the Richter scale for me as far as making my decision of investing in real estate, because I believe in the long term for real estate. These political decisions, whatever weight you think they may have, affect the economy, affect the country largely for 2 years or 4 years, depending on which race you're talking about and which election. And for all of us here, if you want to win in owning rental properties, you need to have a horizon that is much longer than 2 or 4 years. So just speaking from the heart, Pablo, when you brought this topic up and you said, hey, I really need to make this connection because it was really important to me, I'm sitting here saying, it's never even really mattered to me in all of the years that I've been investing in rental properties or private lending. So I don't know how that lands on you, brother, but I see very little value for thinking and making this a part of the decision-making process.
Listen, I think that I play the noble fool on this show, right? I am the voice of the consumer because I'm not the real estate expert. And I think that there's always value in bringing it back to basics for folks, right? Like I know that I personally made a decision on this in 2014. That was the wrong decision. And when we started the show, it was a lot about kind of like saving people from themselves and doing those types of things. So I don't know how valuable it is to the rest of our community, but I'm sure that if I thought it at one point, somebody else is thinking, do I need to do something based on a Republican president or Democrat president or Republican Congress or Democrat Congress? And what I can say is I believe that because I've been conditioned to think that whoever got elected last week is going to affect the stock market, right? Like, or whatever bill's about to pass is going to drive my returns in some sector up or down, or, like these types of things that I think as investors that the average investor doesn't differentiate between financial news that relates to the stock market, which is the majority of what you get, and financial news that relates to the real estate market, and specifically the different real estate strategies there are, which for us, we have been indoctrinated in this buy and hold mentality, this idea that over time you don't lose with positive cash flowing rental properties because the 5 profit centers play in. And that's always the horizon that we want to look at, which make it the best risk adjusted return on investment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think everything you just said there is really, really fair. And I think part of the incredulous nature that I just took there is more of like inquisitive, like what connections are people making here? What kind of information can we give that might substantiate some things that do lead to conclusions based on what the political climate is, and what are some myths that maybe we should break. So I love the fact that you bring these things up. Sometimes when I'm in this bubble that I've been in for 17 years and doing this day in, day out, and managing my own investments and investments for others, you lose some of the perspective of like, what are the real concerns or challenges that other people that aren't in this bubble may feel. So I love that we're talking about it. But I think there's just such difference between how people draw conclusions in the stock market, and there's and draw conclusions as to what will happen in the real estate world. This concept that you don't have to watch the stock ticker, and that you can just invest in something that has performed for decades and decades and decades, and you don't have to be the expert in order to win in real estate. You don't have the cards stacked against you in real estate, where largely you do in the stock market, is one of the big appeals for me. And I hope that is for others too. And I think some of the conclusions, like you can go back and you can look at how the stock market has performed after elections, and you can see that there has been a bump in returns on investment in the stock market the year after, just like you mentioned. I did a little bit of research too, and I saw that, but I just think, to me, even if I knew that information in the stock market, I'd still be really hesitant to make any decision based on if the Republicans or the Democrats controlled more of the House or the Senate or, the executive branch, like, especially in a year like now, like there are so many big factors and indicators that are moving the stock market in a certain way. And the same can be said in real estate, that like when you think about inflation, right? You think about how that is driving what's going on in all sectors of the economy. I think I'd be paying attention to much bigger things, even if I was thinking about where to put my money in the stock market.
That makes sense, man. And I think in my role here, it's my job to bring up this idea that you think so advanced about real estate because you are so used to the ability to buy and hold a rental property based on great property management, right? Like I think that if we don't bring up this idea, then that's what really matters, right? Like it's not who is the president or whatever. And even the difference between short-term rentals and long-term rentals, right? Like short-term rentals, yeah, man, you kind of are beholden to political leanings, right? Like if the city council member gets on and has a real bone to pick with short-term rentals, your investments, if you did not price them in as also working for long-term rentals, could go upside down. But for long-term rentals, as long as you have this team in place that is incentivized by winning when you win, having long-term leases, really focusing on tenant stay, focusing on renewals and those things, then you can start to look at this asset class as like, yeah, you know what? I don't really have to worry so much about local or national elections as long as I have this team in place and you bought the deal right on the front end. Then it's really like a hold and see, and everything is going to average out well.
Yeah, you're right. I look at the decision to invest in real estate as there's a short-term component that has to provide a winning strategy for you. And then there's a long-term component that has to provide a winning strategy for you. And if I think about the impact of politics on this, we'll talk about the long term first, right? There have been Republicans that have been in office. There have been Democrats that have been in office for the last 40 years. But over the last 40 years, there's an average home price appreciation rate that happens in Jacksonville. It's the same in your market if you're not here in Jacksonville. And if you look at 10 to 20 year segments of time, you choose whatever politician's in office, what you get for those 10 to 20 year segments of time is you'll find that the average home price appreciation is very close to what the overall average is for appreciation every single year. So to me, the effect of politics on real estate in the long run for your market has very limited to zero impact on what the long-term effects are going to be. Now, if you want to like stress test this and take this to the extreme, could a politician, right, create a law that, and Congress, could they back a law that, would significantly change the supply and demand, factors in Jacksonville or in another place? Sure, you can take that to the extreme, but assuming that there aren't major substantial changes to what's been going on in the economy and the political landscape and how the country or your city works, doesn't seem to me that there's going to be much of a long-term impact to real estate based on who's in office today. So there's a long-term component. Now, the short-term component is just what you said, Pablo. It is so much more important to focus on who is managing your money to make sure that rents can be collected and to make sure that you're investing in the right market and to be investing in the right neighborhood in the market and to be making sure that this vertically integrated model works for you in the short run. That is all about your property manager. And that is very little to do with who's in office.
Yep, there you go. Great contributions here from the community. Kelly Barenbaum says, CFP here, you're the real estate experts, but I can tell you that in the stock market, it is uncertainty that drives volatility. So things like elections create uncertainty. Now that the election is settled, we should see volatility calm down as investors reset to longer term expectations. I think that's a great point by Kelly. Like the uncertainty is during that peak, like transition period makes perfect sense. I think from what we're saying, it just feels like there's more things that happen that, cause the stock market to go up and down. And people tend to conflate that with real estate. And specifically, when the news cycle is dominated by something as uncertain as an election, it's worth talking about.
Yeah. And I just think that what Kelly's saying is 100% right based on the data. But, this isn't a normal year this year. So if I go back into the stock market realm here and my stock market experts, feel free to chime in and tell me your thoughts here, because I'm just one opinion here when it comes to the stock market, right? My forte is real estate. My forte is not the stock market. But when I'm looking at the stock market, and if you look at how we've talked about it over the last 2 years, Pablo, you and I in the community here, we pretty much pegged that there were going to be problems in the stock market over and over and over again. So at least we know something. But there are so many huge foundational things that are affecting the economy and affecting the stock market today that this is not a normal year, right? When you think about inflation, which I've mentioned, that is number one. Regardless, Republican, Democrat, we're trying to get inflation down. And on the path to doing that, we're raising interest rates and borrowing costs, which is decreasing profitability for companies and, ultimately going to lead to job losses as consumer spending comes down, and that's not good for stock prices. So I think there's a huge anchor there that we're towing there in the stock market. And then you look at other things that are also, creating challenges for companies right now, supply chain challenges, the war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, and China's zero COVID policy, which is still a thing, which just limits manufacturing. Those are all really big challenges that we don't have in a normal year. So I think even though history has showed us that we've seen a bump coming into the stock market after elections and gone up, I wouldn't be making decisions based on solely that as far as the market going up. I tend to personally think that there's going to be more pain to come in the stock market, even though history would have shown us that the market would get a bump.
Yeah, makes sense to me, man. Stevie B also brings up a good point here. Some communities are limiting the purchase of property by investors, claiming that they're driving the prices up beyond the community residents' ability to buy. Is that not a function of politics, albeit at the local level? I don't know if I'm not really familiar with that stuff, man. Like, I don't know. Have you seen something like that?
I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly here. So some communities are limiting the purchase of property by investors, claiming they're driving the prices up beyond the community residents' ability to buy. Is that not a function of politics, albeit at the local level? Yeah, that would be a function of politics at the local level. If you're looking at things like limiting investor purchases or rent controls, that would definitely be something political that could have changed the investment. So that's a really good point. specifically there, limiting the purchase of property by investors. I don't know how you do that. I haven't actually read that. So I would love, Stevie B, I'd love for you to post that article in the Facebook group or maybe post the link here. I haven't heard it. I think that would be really hard to implement.
All right, man. Well, let's move on to the next topic, GC. Thanks for that. That was a good little discussion, man. I appreciate that. I think this is kind of correlated, right, with more volatile asset classes. But another big headline that is happening is this like FTX story, man. Have you, like, I know that I binged listened to this like podcast. I was a deep dive. Did you listen to that thing?
I didn't listen to that podcast. I've read 8 or 10 articles on it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, man. It is a big deal.
It's nuts. Listen, this is what I know. This is what I know to be true, right? FTX, third biggest crypto exchange, right? It's a platform. Founder Sam Bankman-Fried was like a cult hero, like, right? Like he was seen as like the good guys of crypto because he espoused this like make money to give it away, philanthropic, really lifestyle, kind of quirky, seemed on the surface really, really likable, and had built this like blue chip company in this space that was so fascinating. Well, at some point, they started having some liquidity issues. So they reached out to the number one platform, Coinbase, to see if, hey, maybe they could float them some to like get over these liquidity issues. They're kind of frenemies. Coinbase looked into it. They were interested at the time because, again, if you acquire the third biggest platform being the first biggest platform, you'll have this like incredible advantage. And they decided to pull back when they looked underneath the curtain. And that launched this giant investigation into everything that's happening. And basically, they found that it wasn't as good as it seemed, right? Like this FTX, that's a platform, would take people's crypto and go fund something else that they're doing, guaranteed on the back end with this coin that FTX created that's backed on like the strength of FTX. And they had like this like platform arm and this crypto projects arm, and they were double dipping, and it essentially turned out to be a giant scam. And now this guy, it's like a Bernie Madoff level giant scam in this completely new asset class. And now this dude's like in Argentina, fleeing the country. All the stories around him are unraveling, and it's insane. So apart from being this like big, sexy tabloid story that we're talking about, to me, what's really interesting is that I was listening to this stuff, and these were 2 crypto experts talking about it, and they're talking about now there's 3 potential outcomes, right? This could be a blip in the radar in what is crypto, and one big story, kind of like Bernie Madoff. Hey, stock market's still alive and well. Financial asset fund managers are still alive and well. It could be something where now everybody's going to get really, really freaked out by the lack of regulation and the lack of precedence and the lack of all this stuff and anonymity and all these things that people like about crypto that's in crypto. And it could mean like a real cooling of the crypto markets from NFTs to coins and everything for the next 2, 4, 5 years. And really the only ones that survive are the big ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and all these other ones are gone that everybody put all this money into. Or maybe this is like a complete death blow to crypto. Those are the things that they were pontificating on. And that completely blew my mind, this idea that something that's been around for like 10 years that has just gotten really popular, that people were going all in on, could all of a sudden completely, like they could be talking about it completely going away, just freaked me out, man. So I don't know, what would you read? What was your biggest takeaway there?
Well, as I was reading the articles on it, I was like, let me try to put this in perspective. We have all witnessed Bitcoin's drop in price, right? It lost roughly 75% of value from its peak prior to all of this FTX news. And so that has just a dose of reality was here in crypto before this news. But as I read more about FTX, like you imagine, like you explained here, was like this blue chip of the crypto world. Like it was like the shining star, like it was bringing legitimacy to crypto. And, it was a digital currency exchange, which, and again, I'm not an expert here. I'm trying my best here, but this is what I come to understand. It operates more like a bank. Right? Like it's an exchange, which is largely what a bank is. And so people, would put their money, the real money into this bank, and then it would make it easier for them to trade crypto rather than having to do some of the technical things that were preventing people non-techie people from getting into crypto. And then you think about, I went and I looked into some of the things that they were doing to grow their assets, that FTX was doing to grow their assets. You know, one of the reasons a whole lot of, call it non-techie people put their money into FTX, into the billions of dollars, the reason that they did this is because they marketed it as a high yield bank account at a time where, like, over the last year, as interest rates a year ago were like nothing, you couldn't get anything when you put your money in a bank. This, because it was really easy and because people thought it was safe and because they could get a high yield on their checking or their savings, they said, wow, let me go to the shining star of the crypto space, which happened to be FTX. And I think it was Binance was the other major player there. They were kind of like at the top. I mean, FTX had all of these celebrities that were on TV endorsing them. You know, Tom Brady, and I don't remember who else. You know, you can chime in for some of the other well-known celebrities. Maybe Steph Curry. Maybe I'm just coming up with that in my head. So I apologize to Steph Curry if I say that. I mean, that's not right. But there were big name celebrities that had jumped on. Pablo, your arena, Miami Heat Arena. Yeah. What was the name of the Miami Heat Arena up until like yesterday?
FTX Arena. The
FTX Arena. So like this was like crypto's chance at legitimacy.
Yeah.
And so to have it come down due to, I mean, a lack of regulation, I think that's where it comes down to. Like it was an unregulated space. People assumed it acted like a bank. They assumed that it acted like a brokerage, which, you know, Charles Schwab would never have been allowed to do what Sam Bankman-Fried was allowed to do with the deposits in FTX. So I think this is going to land more on regulation. And I think what it ultimately comes down to, and this is just me pontificating here, is like, I think asset values come down to utility. Like at some point, right? They come down to utility, right? When crypto was over $60,000 per coin, everybody openly talked about like, there's no utility here, right? I don't know what the right price of Bitcoin is, but for the utility that it provides at this point right now, it's not 60,000. Is it 16,000? I don't know. I know there's some utility in the blockchain, and that is going to be developing over and over. And, you know, coins like Ethereum seem to take better advantage of that. And so, you know, if I'm relating this to like other assets, like it comes back to utility, it comes back to like earnings per share in the stock market world, right? It comes down to yield in the dividend world. In the real estate space, there's utility that we all understand because people need a roof over their head, and we understand how people are willing to pay rent for that. And so, you know, over time, I just see it coming back to what we all probably should have thought anyways, which is like value. It's based on utility, and some regulation is good for everybody.
Yeah, man, those are good points. And I want to bring up some real good points that were made in the chat. I think Bob Wiesner and Drew Barnhill are agreeing upon a couple of things. Number one, it is the idea, let's clarify. Anybody holding crypto in their own crypto wallet or in some other account, that hasn't gone away, right? Like that crypto is still there. People that had it on the FTX platform, that's gone, right? Like, right. So it's kind of like if Madoff was managing your money at the time, it's gone, right? If you had cashed out from Madoff, you have that money. The difference is that the crypto in my crypto wallet right now has drastically lost value because of this thing, right?
Right.
So when Madoff ran off with everybody's money, it did not make my whatever I have in my bank account worth less. The other thing that they're saying is that this is a fraud issue, right? Like this is one really bad apple in an entire ecosystem, not an endemic issue, which I completely agree. The only problem with that is back to your point, GC, utility, right? Like the utility of crypto largely has to do with the anonymity of crypto, the lack of regulation of crypto, the ability to move it really easily without being traced. That is all one of like the major tenets of this crypto revolution. So the fact that the utility of it lends itself to this type of stuff, I think is worth talking about. And yeah, so you have something to say there?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. There's a lot of utility there in that anonymity. but I would imagine there's a place for regulation and anonymity, right? Like, for example, in this case, if, you know, what I have come to understand about this situation is, Sam Bankman-Fried owned and operated FTX as an exchange. He also had a hedge fund called Alameda Research, which took big bets and largely in digital assets, which over the last year has lost 75% of value. He was able to switch, deposits from the currency exchange, which is thought to be non-risky, over to these risky assets without notifying the people whose money it was. And then when these risky assets didn't work, he didn't have the money to pay people back for the non-risky assets. So, some simple regulations about not being able to commingle funds like that wouldn't seem to get in the way of anonymity or, some of the things that people do love about crypto.
Makes sense, man. To me, the bigger picture is something we've talked about once before on the show. In a rapidly evolving technological world, I don't think that we have accurately priced in the risk of technological advancements into liquid assets, right? And what I mean by that is we had this Robinhood GameStop thing, right? Like, first of all, GameStop thing, right? So a chat room full of nerds on the internet decided that they want to make one stock go bananas. And if you were shorting it, you're screwed, right? And you were shorting it based on solid market fundamentals, right? So that's one. Or your fund manager was shorting it, or blah, 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 blah. Then you layer on the aspect of Robinhood and them all of a sudden freezing trades at a moment where stuff is going bananas, right? So like this, like, access to like liquidity and blah, 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 all of a sudden goes away when stuff goes haywire. And at the end of the day, that's why people are investing in these more liquid assets, right? Like, these platforms are going to continue to come out, and liquidity is this thing that people sell you as like a hedge of risk. But at the end of the day, technology plus liquidity is creating these scenarios that are not hedging risk, right? And to me, that's why I look at buying a rental income property as the mainstay, right? Like that like set it and forget it piece of my portfolio that I know can't get messed with in any kind of way, because there is no technological way to completely disrupt the market valuation of workforce housing in Jacksonville, Florida, right? Like, I just think that bears saying, because this is happening in crypto, it's happening in stocks, it's going to continue to happen. The last thing where you will not understand the risk accurately is going to be this like workforce housing real estate stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. I think this concept, and you brought this up a little while ago, is that liquidity is not always your friend. Liquidity is not always your friend. People generally use liquidity as a reason to not invest in rental properties. But there's two sides to that coin. You're seeing the worst side of liquidity in something like what's happening with FTX, or if you were on the wrong side of a meme stock, pump and dump scheme, And so I just think it comes down to like, how do you want to be as an investor, right? Do you largely want to go in for the big wins and like be able to like have that be a thing that you get to talk about with your friends and family, and, you're going to make some big wins, you're going to take some big losses? Like, that is definitely the crypto space or the meme stock space. If you want to go there, there is no difference versus gambling there, right? If that's what you want to do, you can play there, right? The stock market is not anywhere close to that degree of gambling, but there's a whole lot that goes on there that is not based on solid market fundamentals. And so there's certain aspects of being in the stock market which are akin to gambling, in my opinion, right? When earnings come out and they're good, but your stock price goes down, like, I still don't fundamentally understand that, other than like it's based on emotions and expectations, and the powers that be that have better access to information than you do get to take their first cut at it, and all those things come into play in the stock market. So there's an element there, although nowhere close to gambling like it is in crypto. And then there's this beautiful thing called rental properties, where I don't have to know any of that stuff. Like, I don't like, for the amount of properties that I own or that we manage here at JWB, if I had to think about all of the things that would go into owning one of those properties times 4,800 of them, that I own and manage here, that I own around 300, I manage total 4,800 here. Like, I would lose my mind if I had to pay that much attention to each individual property to understand all these potential dynamics, right? Like, the beautiful thing about this asset class is you can set it and forget it largely, right? You have to work with a great team who makes this process easy for you. And listen, managing your property manager is definitely a task. But like, the idea of buying and holding that property is like set it and forget it to me. And I love that. I love that it's not liquid. Like, that helps me breed consistency, which is what's important. One of the things that's important for me as an investor. So, the lack of liquidity has never been a problem for me because I've always been bought in for the long haul. If you can get over that, hard not to understand how you win when you look at risk-adjusted returns and lack of volatility that you get in the real estate market.
Makes sense, buddy. Makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about the local real estate market. I know we got another subject that we're going to hit on. I want to get you out of here a little early since I know your sister's in town, my friend. But Raj has got a couple of questions here in the Q&A. Raj is asking, rental market seems to soften nationwide. How's the rental demand in Jacksonville? What are the current months of inventory and how's it trending? Do you have all that stuff, or are we going to do a different show on that?
I didn't look at the months of inventory as of last week. Based on the last data that I had, we were a little bit over 3. So again, 6 to 7 is a normal market. So anything less than 6 would lead to higher than normal home price appreciation over the next 6 to 12 months. So that is one factor there. So nothing from a months of supply or months of inventory conversation is alarming. In fact, in a vacuum, if all I was looking at was 3 months of inventory, which is roughly what it was, and before the pandemic hit in the beginning of 2020, I would say that this is a sign that home prices are going up. So, the good thing, Raj, is that I'm going to be doing a deep dive in all of the numbers, the metrics. Also come prepared to give you guys a great outlook going into 2023 of JWB's opinion of the rental market, of the pricing here in Jacksonville. And that's going to be happening on our next client only call, which is on December 5th. So I'll be a little bit more prepared. And I think it's going to be a great call because I know there's a lot of questions about what do we see happening in 2023 and beyond. So we'll be ready for that.
So client only call December 5th. Recap of client only call on the Not Your Average Investor show that Tuesday. So you're gonna get both, whether you're a client or not. And GC, we got some breaking news, man. Turns out I've been informed that you're turning 40 tomorrow. And we prepared a little something that I know you want to get to your family, but we got a little surprise for you that the community put together that we're gonna play for you right here for a little bit, man. Here, this is a little show of appreciation for all the great value that you bring to our community and everything you've done, man. Enjoy this.
Oh my.
GC, welcome to your 40s, young man. As you know, buddy, you have had a profound effect on me and my life, and I'm incredibly grateful that you took the chance to do this little community thing, build the show up, to trust me with it, and all the great good that has come for the community we've built, for your team, for me and my team, and you've really reshaped the idea of what a leader really is to me. So just want to let you know I really appreciate you, man, and I hope that these next 40 are even better than the last 40. And we put together this video of just a few of the people whose life that you have affected thanks to so many great decisions with you and your team. I hope you enjoy this, buddy. Happy birthday.
Oh gosh. Where did you get all these pictures from?
I have no idea. That's JP.
Buenos tardes, amigos. This is Bill Shields coming to you live from my backyard. GC, the big 4-0, you finally made it, my brother. Congratulations. Thank you for all you do for the Not Your Average Investment community. It's been a privilege and honor to be a part of that, and an honor to work with JWB for the last 7 years. helped me learn and grow tremendously. You are an inspiration to me, and I'm sure everyone else listening to this message. Thanks again, and go Gators, go Jags, boo Steelers. We love you.
Hey, this is Carl Thompson. Haven't had a chance to talk with you for a bit, but I wanted to reach out to you and wish you a very happy birthday. I wish you nothing but the best for you and your family. And I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the things you do for everybody and the education and just giving of yourself. So this is a small token to you for the things that you do. And I just wish you the best, man. Thank you so very much, and happy birthday, and take great care of yourself. I'll talk with you soon, bud. Take care. Bye.
Hey, Greg. Really want to wish you the wonderful birthday this year. You have done so many great things for so many people. I know the impact you've had on my life has been tremendous. I thank you so much for all you and your team have done for me down there. And I've grown to know you as a friend and not just a part of my business. And you have been there throughout the distance for all of us. And I want to just thank you so much. Have a great birthday. Just enjoy it with your family, and just know that from all of us, that you deserve it. Thanks. Have a great day.
Hey, Greg. Happy 40th birthday, my friend. Just want to wish you well on this special day and let you know that on my 40th birthday, I went out and I bought a Harley. So if you're interested in doing the same thing, I'm happy to come up and we'll go shopping together. Have a great day and a blessed year ahead, my friend. See you soon.
Happy birthday, Greg.
Ken and Carol and Malene calling. They're visiting you from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we're visiting my brother. And just wanted to wish you a happy 40th.
I just wanted to say thank you on your birthday for everything that you have done with JWB, and we have enjoyed, and we have profited from your teaching experiences, and we've been listening to your Tuesdays and Thursdays for over a year now. So
yes, we have really been educated as to how to invest with JWB in real estate, which has been very profitable for us, solved our cash flow problems, and set us on the road to be able to enjoy a lot of things that we would not otherwise have been able to take part in. So again, thank you, and happy birthday, Greg.
Hey Greg, it's me, Leo. I'd just like to wish you a happy birthday, man. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank you for providing lots of information regarding rental property and real estate in general, especially the 5 Profit Center. Again, wishing you the very best on your birthday. God bless, my friend, and let's rock.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow.
Hey Greg, I want to wish you a supersized happy 40th birthday wish of continued success in everything you do and continue to be safe and well. I want to thank you for being a friend, brother.
Hello Greg, this is Leonard Lee wishing you a happy birthday from Mountain View, California, Google Town, and many more to come. I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done for the JWB community and making everybody feel so welcome and being such a generous and kind person that you are. Again, have a wonderful day with friends and family. Take care, my friend.
Hey Greg, happy birthday, my friend. I don't know what I would do without you and the wife over there. You guys are some of my most loyal friends, and I just wish that you have an abundance of success and health and wealth and joy and love on your birthday and every day. Kill it, dude. Happy birthday.
Hi Greg, this is Nadim wishing you a very happy birthday in my language. It says Sal Gira Mubarak, meaning wishing you the very best of birthdays.
Hello, Gregg Cohen. It's Jen Filson, your favorite fairy godmother of the Not Your Average Investor JWB community. And let me just tell you, I heard that it's your birthday. I heard that you're turning the big 4-0. Ah! Fantastic. Happy birthday, buddy. We love you. We just want to share with you how much we appreciate and love and respect you on this fabulous 40th birthday. So, without further ado, let me get over here and say, happy birthday, buddy. We love you, Gregg Cohen. May all of your real estate wishes come true. Woohoo!
Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say.
Just enjoy it, buddy. Now you got the team.
Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Not sure why they picked this
Life
music.
is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze.
Happy 40th birthday, Gregg.
Hey Gregg, wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Hope it's the best one yet.
Happy 40th birthday, Gregg.
Happy 40th.
Happy birthday. Hope this year's the best yet.
Happy birthday, Gregg. Hi, Gregg. Happy birthday. Hope it's great.
Happy birthday, Gregg. We hope it's an amazing one.
Happy birthday, Gregg. Have a good day.
Happy birthday, Gregg Cohen. Big 4-0. Enjoy it. We miss you this week for sure.
Happy birthday, Gregg. Couldn't let this year go by without telling you I know that you're 40 and that you're getting older, but we're still excited for you and want to celebrate you. So you're a wonderful person, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the week with your family.
Yeah, congrats on the journey as well, man. Obviously, you've done a lot of things in your 40 years here. I know the team appreciates you, the community appreciates you, and just keep on trucking. Here's to another 40.
Hey, Gregg. Happy birthday. You are an amazing leader. You're an amazing father. We're so thankful for the role you play here at JWB and the example you set for what a wonderful, amazing family man looks like. So I just want you to know how much we care about you, and we hope you have the best day ever. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gregg. I hope you have the best day. I'm sorry that we won't be here to celebrate it with you, but you are just such an impact to the team and your family, and I just can't wait to have you back in the office so we can celebrate you and the big 4-0. We got to make sure that everybody knows you're 40 now. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gregg. Wishing you all the best on the big 4-0. Being that I just went through it a couple months ago, I know the feeling, but definitely want to wish you all the success in all the future endeavors. Keep doing your thing and keep it going.
Happy 40th birthday, Gregg. I am so thankful for you, for all that you do for our company and for this community. Really enjoy getting to work with you. And I'm just so thankful that you're someone who is open to my feedback when it comes to the podcast or new ideas, or that lovely data flywheel. And also, you're a gracious loser when LSU beats Florida. Go Tigers. I just hope that you have a wonderful birthday and that this trip around the sun is the best one yet.
I recorded. Hey, Cohen, what's up, man? No, let's start over.
Yeah.
Did you just stop it?
No.
You're just gonna, are you gonna edit it?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're
No,
gonna show
just
this
keep
whole,
going.
You're gonna show this whole thing.
Just keep going.
You're just gonna show the whole thing.
This is really tough for him. We've only known each other for like...
What up, Gregg? Unit, what's going on, buddy? I wanted to chime in and wish you a happy 40th, man. I know it's gonna be awesome. We still have to plan something fun to do together, buddy. Congrats.
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Gregg. Mo and Dan here. We wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I hope your 40th is a great one, bud. Happy birthday again.
Yeah, Gregg, happy 40th birthday. Been there, done that. We greatly appreciate you and wish you many more healthy and happy years. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Can't believe you made it all the way to 40.
You're going to have to show the rest of us how this decade's supposed to be done.
Hey Greg, it's Whitney and wanted to send you a quick note to wish you a very happy birthday from both the Ritchie family, the Ritchie 5 at home, and all your friends at Ritchie Insurance Group. Have a wonderful day.
Cohen, otherwise known as my boy Money. Just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Gray hairs, balding. Welcome to being 40, my man. I've been waiting for this moment from the minute I met you. Appreciate you. Love you, and hope you have a wonderful day.
Happy birthday, GC, the big 4-0. You're getting old, pal, but good news is your wish for salt and pepper hair is probably on its way for you. So congratulations and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Uncle Greg.
What's up, Cohen, old man? I just wanted to wish you a happy 40th. Crazy, we've known each other well over 20 years now. It's been a good ride, many more years to come. And these guys wanted to chime in and wish you a happy birthday too. Later, man.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm just taken aback. I had no idea. I had no idea that this was something that you all came together to do. And when you get old now, when you turn 40, I guess you don't expect anybody to really notice. And so for you all to take the time and to do that is just very impactful for me. And I know now why my team is all on the call a little bit more than normal. So it's all coming together here. But wow, just I think back to when we started this thing, and this thing has just become so much more than what I ever thought it could be. I think there was a real desire in the beginning to, share our message and to have a platform to do that. But I just never understood the community that could come from something like this. And, I feel it. And when you all put something together like this, I really feel it. I feel it beyond this day too. And I just wanted to say thank you for sharing that message. I mean, it just means a lot. And I really, really appreciate all of you.
Well, you deserve it, bud. That was KJ got that ball rolling, of course. And she handled the team side. I asked Jen to reach out to the community, and JP put it all together, man. So just super pumped we could do that for you. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I think it's pretty safe to say we're all really grateful for you, man. So happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you guys. I'm blown away. I don't know what to say. Man, I am so thankful for all of you. Really, really am. I just love you all, and I appreciate you all.
Awesome. We'll post that video in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, go to jwbfacebookgroup.com and you're going to get to see it again and show your friends. GC, I'm going to text it to you, buddy. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Really, really grateful for this community and the opportunity to do what we do here. So just hope you enjoy it with you and your families. And we'll see you. Well, there won't be a show on Thursday. No PO2 Dubs on Turkey Day. But we'll see you all on Tuesday. GC, I'll give you last words, bro.
Man, I'm so thankful. Again, don't really know how to say thank you appropriately for everybody who had a part in that, from everybody in the community to my team, to just everybody in the JWB network. Wow. That was just an incredible way to start the birthday celebration. And thank you to all of you who put in the time and effort to make that possible. Pablo, your team, for putting it together as well. Gosh, I'm just beyond words thankful. And let's have a great Thanksgiving. There's so much to be thankful for this year. I know right now there's tough times in the economy, and maybe your favorite politician didn't win or whatnot. But man, if you just think about all we have to be thankful for, it's just it's a beautiful, beautiful world that we live in. And let's use this time to just celebrate friends, family, what we're grateful for. So I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for making my life so for impacting my life in such a positive way. And we'll catch you next Tuesday.
Amen, brother. Until then, everybody remember, if you want to be extra grateful in the next week. Don't be average. I'll see you on Tuesday.